You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Dungeons & Dragons on the internet for your amusement. This is episode number 419, recorded July 2022, posted October 2023. Fake Blood Curse.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, a dungeon master. I use he, him pronouns, and today we are continuing one of our recently started adventures. We are continuing Horror at Havel's Cross, a level 2 adventure featuring returning players, but with brand new characters they created for this adventure. I'm going to introduce their players, they will introduce their characters to us, and then I'll do like a little recap of what's happening so far. Let me start off with Monty Ashley. Welcome back, Monty.
Thank you, Tony. My pronouns are he, him, and so are the pronouns of my character, Osgood Emberleaf, a halfling paladin.
Also joining us, the delightful Kathy Campbell. Welcome back, Kathy.
Thank you, Tony. I use she, her pronouns, and Davina, the variant Asimar cleric, also uses she, her, and we're ready to definitely roll better today. Come on, team.
It was a rough session last time. I was prepared for things to go bad. Yeah. Next up, it's Aline Sims. Hi, Aline.
Hello, I'm playing Opal Grimsbane, the human sorcerer, and both of our pronouns are she, her.
Thanks, Aline. And last, but certainly not least, you heard his voice in the background there somewhere. It's Jason Snell.
You know him, you love him. Into every generation a slayer is born, one girl in all the world, a chosen one. She alone will wield the strength and skill to fight the vampires, demons, and forces of darkness, to stop the spread of their evil and the swell of their number. She is my character, Buffy, a female human blood hunter, level 2.
Jason is that girl born into this generation.
One
lawyers,
in
please
all the world.
Yeah. Lawyers, please contact Jason Snell at the Incomparable Incorporated.
Yep.
123 Fake Street, Anytown, USA.
That's right. Legally, law offices of Legally and Distinct LLC.
Yeah, legally. Yeah.
Fair use. It's a parody. It's a parody.
I want to point out, regardless of anything you see in any of our materials, Buffy is spelled with the 4 Fs, and thus they're different names. They're silent Fs when you stack them together like that. I don't make linguistics, I just enforce it. Yeah, yep, it's a ligature. So, previously on Total Party Kill, Horror at Havel's Cross, you were recruited by one Professor Winsome Landy, a halfling professor of archaeology, and she needed basically a group of adventurers to escort her to the dig site that her students are working, where there is an artifact that they've dug up, and then escort her and said artifact back to civilization, because it's a dangerous world out there, and, sometimes you need protection. You headed out into the wilderness. You are several days travel from the nearest town or kind of major settlement, and you stopped off at basically the last closest thing there was to civilization, Havel's Cross, a roadhouse near a bridge crossing of a river, hence its name. Unfortunately, as you approach the roadhouse, which I think is just another D&D word for like an inn or a tavern, but it lets you know that sleeping quarters are a big thing there. The lights were all out. There was a dead horse in the front yard, and as you peeked inside the main room of Havel's Cross, littered with corpses and several goblins poking around. They tried to hide from you. They seemed to be trying to break into some kind of lockbox behind the bar. A fight ensued. Things looked real bad for a while there until the group turned the tide of battle. Some goblins were put to sleep. Osgood leveled just like a murderous killing blow to the hobgoblin leader of the group of goblins, and you now have 2 goblins slumbering peacefully and 2 goblins who have surrendered and want not to be murdered by you. So I think that is where we pick up. The 4 of you, Professor Winsome Landy, and some alive, sleeping, and dead goblins in a room full of many corpses. Any questions?
Neat.
I believe I have just run from behind the bar over to Buffy to lay on hands for 5 points.
Yes. Thank you.
So, get out, goblins.
Okay. That's okay? Can we take the box?
No.
No.
Give us the box. Give it to us.
I guess we should interrogate you.
Yeah.
Was this place empty when you came here, or did you kill everybody in it?
Oh, all of these dead people? They were dead when we got here. Are they friends of yours?
I would like to do an insight check of some sort on this wild claim.
A mean man came and killed them all, and then he left.
You know what, Osgood? Feel free to roll either with advantage or disadvantage, depending on how you think Osgood might feel about goblins.
I don't understand the question.
Then you can roll without. You can just roll normally.
I rolled a 5.
You have 5. You don't have any reason to not trust this particular goblin murderer.
I would like
Buffy?
to do the same because I do not buy this at all. It's not that good. It's a 1. So Buffy's like, sounds right.
Yep.
I mean, you're not attacking us anymore, so I wouldn't feel right about destroying you.
What's this box you
now.
talk about?
There's a cash box behind the bar. We were trying to break into it.
How do you know about it?
We found it.
How did you know to come here with to a place that was full of dead people?
Well, I don't know. It looked abandoned, so we thought we'd take what we wanted.
Where were you coming from?
We lived nearby.
Did you kill the horse?
I didn't kill a horse.
Did
the other goblin makes sure to chime in. I didn't kill a horse either.
What did the hobgoblin do? Did he do any of this?
No, but it was his idea to raid this place. He said it would be, and I quote, easy pickings.
How long has this place seemed abandoned to you?
Are you asking me or the goblin?
The goblin.
I don't know. Usually there's lots of lights and stuff, but when we came by, I don't know, an hour or so ago, it was all dark, and that seemed unusual. We usually keep our distance from you type.
Tony, do we already know how long the bodies in here seem to have been dead?
I don't think you know, because you came in and fought goblins and are now interrogating goblins. So there's not been a CSI montage yet.
We learned how long the horse had been dead.
Mm-hmm. I think a while. I think more than a day.
Yeah,
but maybe that's a ceremonial. There could have been some kind of horse murder festival.
Does somebody have skill at medicine that could do a medicine check, maybe on the dead bodies to see if they're freshly killed by goblins or if they've been dead for a while?
Yeah, I'll do that. I got a +5.
All right.
Well,
Professor Winsome Landy pokes her head into the tavern now that things are quiet. It just says, "Oh, my heavens!" So Davina, you are checking a body. Medicine 12. It's cold, so it seems like it's been dead for a while. There's a lot of dried blood on the floor. You do notice that the goblins don't seem to have, aside from inflicted by all of you, they don't seem to have much of the way of wounds or blood on them other than, your blood or their blood. Recently acquired blood is what I'm saying.
I don't think we need to... we don't need these goblins here anymore, do we?
That's right, says the first goblin. The second goblin shakes his head enthusiastically.
They've been... The ones that attacked us, they're mostly dead now, so, I mean...
So
justice served.
Buffy looks at the goblins and puts her hand down in the blood of one of the dead hobgoblin and turns around and begins speaking a ritual and making hand symbols.
Oh God!
A
blood hunter found blood.
as you might expect from somebody who is expert as a blood hunter, and gestures at them and says, "I have now cursed you with the hunter's bane. Leave this place and don't return, or you will feel the wrath of the blood curse."
Got it, Chief.
That's totally a lie, by the way. Totally a lie.
The first goblin points at the two sleeping goblins.
Surrender.
The points at the two sleeping goblins and says, "Is it okay if we take our cousins with us?"
Only if you tell us their names.
We call that one Skittles. And do I have enough goblin names prepared?
And this one is peanut M&Ms.
Yeah. Well, the first goblin whose name is Clux, you did not ask. And in fact, probably I should have used my prepared names for the goblins you did ask about. But in my head, it was important to assign them names ahead of time. The goblin says something kind of unintelligible in goblin, and then thinks a second and says, "But I guess in your tongue, you could say Panut M&M."
Yes.
All right, you get out of here and
Be gone. Blood
and-
curse. Ooh, blood curse. Get out.
Okay, that's extra creepy. Imagining like blood droplets coming, like dropping off. Yeah.
Can we have a performance check to sell the blood curse?
Sure. It's an 8. 6 plus 2.
I think you overdid it a bit. You're just...
Okay. I mean, they're still going to need to go. I just was trying to give them a little motivation to get out.
So you are now left alone in the tap room of Havel's Cross. Professor Winsome Landy is kind of gingerly poking around. There's not a lot of floor space in this tavern that is not coated in some manner of blood or entrails. So she's kind of carefully picking her way around the room, trying to inspect some of the bodies and just see what's going on in here.
Can I do kind of a Sherlock Holmes style investigation and like Willem Dafoe in Boondock Saints and
Yes.
There was a war or something.
Yeah. One really huge guy. Yeah.
Okay, well that's a bad roll and I have a +0, so 4.
There are between 10 and 14 bodies, Osgood. It gets a little hazy given the status of some of them. I had a lot of information I was prepared to read to you that instead has been reduced to there are between 10 and 14 bodies.
Buffy's gonna Buffy's gonna check out that box and also see if there's any other information behind the bar.
All right,
investigation or perception.
Yeah, perception.
All right. Oh boy, it's a 6.
You look behind the bar.
Hey, there's a box.
There's a metal box. It's about the size of a bread box. It's got a sturdy lock on it. It looks like the goblins had kind of pried up one corner, but still had a ways to go on getting it open. Just by context clues, you think that this is probably where the bar stores their money at the end of the day. It looks like, this is not the kind of operation that would have a full-on safe or something like that. There's also the body of the bartender and at least more than 50% of the body of a patron behind the bar. Opal Grimsbane, is there anything you'd like to do?
I'm checking out the mantelpiece, the fireplace, just to see.
The place is cold. The fire is out and seems like it probably has been for a while. There's a turned over kettle, big pot of soup that would have been going on the fire that has been splashed and kind of unfortunately mixed with some, entrails on the floor. It's all cold and smells awful. There's some blood that is splashed up on the mantelpiece, but it seems like whatever happened didn't happen. I mean, it happened. Recent is a relative term, but the goblin story that they found it this way, it seems reasonable so far.
The goblins came from the little, was there a place behind the bar?
Yeah, there's a poking around behind the bar. There is a storage room. It looks like the goblins. Looks like the goblins have had several tastes of ale. There's a bunch of mugs scattered on the ground. Doesn't look like the violence got back here, but it looks like perhaps the goblins, other than the ones working on the cash box, mainly did their kind of poking around back here.
Can I open the cash box?
Well, it's locked. You could force it open, or sure, you could try.
Can anybody open this? Buffy says. Anybody?
Do you have a rogue, or
I got a mace?
Somebody strong with strength.
It's interesting that the lockbox is still here. It seems like whatever happened was not theft related.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good clue. They didn't take the lockbox, so they were not trying to steal the lockbox. But I am going to try to break it open, Tony, with my strength.
Give me a strength check.
Oh, that's better. 16 plus 3, 19.
All right, you just like tear it in half. It's just like all those phone books you've been tearing in half at home, and the lid clatters off. It can probably never be closed again. Looking inside the small metal box, there is about 120 gold pieces in various coin denominations and mintings that probably are basically the life savings of the owner and operator of Havel's Cross.
All right. I'll pocket that for all of us. Well, what else are we going to do? Leave it here with a note saying this. Only take this if you're the rightful owner of the...
No, but I would like to take my portion now.
Yes,
Professor Winsome Landy says, I don't know what the etiquette is on this situation. This was not taught at the academy. But perhaps I could suggest
Finders
a new
Keepers
elective for the curriculum.
I split it in quarters and give it to everybody.
All right. Off of the storage room,
not the coin quarters. But 1/4 of the total. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification.
I'd like it all in $2 bills, please.
Yes. So everybody make note that you have what amount of gold did I say? 120?
You said 120. We each have 30.
You each have 30 gold. Thanks for doing the math for me. There is a somewhat nice bedroom off the storage room, and not pictured on the map, stairs that lead to kind of less lavish loft, space above where other guests would stay. So they have one nice room. Perhaps the innkeeper stays there when it's empty, and then other kind of just more bunks in a loft above, not pictured.
All right. Well, I want to walk back to where the goblins were, so I'm going to walk behind the bar where Buffy is. I'm going to glance around while I'm back there. I know Buffy did a search, but
give me a perception check.
I found a box.
It's a 12.
The stuff behind the bar looks surprisingly undisturbed. There's lots of bottles that are neatly stacked up. It does not, aside from it, this place does not look looted in the way, basically the looting process had just begun thanks to these goblins, and you disturbed that. So there's plenty of supplies behind the bar and in the storage room if you needed anything, Opal, in terms of torches, rations, rope. There's all kinds of stuff to be found. It again, leading to that, whatever happened here did not seem to be out of necessity to take things.
I like how reluctantly you said rope. I appreciate that.
Professor Winsome Landy finishes her kind of survey of the room and says, I have good news.
Great. Let's hear it.
None of these unfortunate souls are my students.
Oh, well, that is good news.
Yeah.
Did you notice anything else about the dead bodies?
Well, using my archaeological reasoning, I suspect that all of these people died within the last 100 years.
Great.
Good.
There are, she pulls out a little book where she's been taking some notes. 7 humans, 3 halflings, and 2 dwarves. Many of their personal items are still here, including several coin purses that she points out. And I do notice that there are blood and entrails from several bodies that are not present. That's unfortunate.
Okay, first, are any chairs broken? I'm trying to see if it looks like it's just a bar brawl gone bad. And in a bar brawl, as we know, chairs are always getting broken over people's backs.
I would say that there's a lot of tables that are broken. How would you interpret that, Sherlock Monty?
Do we know what kind of wounds the bodies have? What kind of wounds?
Looking around at it, there is the body by the door, the door into the tavern seems to have kind of a traumatic head wound. The others seem to have similar to the horse out front, things more in the bites and slashes level of wounds.
How long has it been since the last full moon?
12 minutes.
1d10. It has been 4 days since the last full moon.
Oh, so it could be a werewolf situation, I guess.
Anything could be a werewolf situation if you believe in yourself.
You said it, buddy.
And werewolves.
Don't worry, Aline. Whether you believe in werewolves or not, they believe in you.
Oh, thank gosh. Glad someone does.
Well, here's my dilemma, guys. If I could just put it all on the table for you. As you guys
the
know,
tables are broken. Sorry.
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
I'll put it on.
can we use the bar?
I'll put it all on the bar for you. As you know, I am a paladin.
Professor Winsome Landy interrupts Osgood to say, "Excellent, a team meeting.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll take minutes."
Great.
Great.
As you know, I am a paladin, but
Paladin.
I have not yet taken my oath. But I don't think I'm the type of paladin that cares about vengeance and necessarily
Vengeance?
justice that much. So I don't do we do something about this,
Well,
or do we just say this is a bad thing that happened and move on?
My concern is that whatever did this is out there and may attack someone else. That's more of my concern, that there's something evil lurking in Havel's Cross or nearby, and that it may attack us or it may attack others who come here.
But
Evil lurks everywhere.
right, and there's nobody here to pay us for taking
the dead
care of
bodies are
this
here.
Evil.
We
I mean,
have
yeah,
already
that's
been
true.
paid. We have been paid 120 gold just for showing up.
That's
and
true.
I guess
It's
for
true.
running the goblins off.
That is a fascinating legal argument.
I think you have a point that we're not the guardians of Havel's Cross. I'm more concerned about understanding enough about what happened here and maybe to be on guard in case it attacks us, rather than trying to solve the problem of honestly, of whoever is left in Havel's Cross, which may be nobody.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know if there's something here that's going to follow us now, or if we're going to meet something on the road.
Is this roadhouse alone, or is there a little town like
This is it.
like one of those strip malls you see?
Not it. No, this is more like.
This is the town.
Yeah, this is more like the gas station on the highway, and there's nothing else for an hour, kind of situation. Not the strip mall where there's a gas station and a Taco Bell and a Burger King.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I don't know I'm not sure about the religious beliefs of all these people, but I think they would not want their bodies just left out here to molder. So, let's get shovels.
Yeah, let's bury them.
I mean,
Okay.
we could also just set the place on fire because there's nobody here to take care of it. We can do a funeral pyre.
I don't know.
And just no.
This
Okay.
building seems perfectly serviceable.
Yeah.
And somebody may own it or may want to take over it, but I do think we need to dispose of the bodies and mark the site in case somebody comes to it. That's the least we could do. I'm with Osgood.
Yeah.
I'm curious about your funereal beliefs and customs. Have you stopped to consider what you'll do with the horse corpse? Oh,
I guess
sorry, I
we're
didn't mean to
burying
derail the meeting.
everything.
I'm learning so much from all of you.
Okay, that's fine, but I'm not gonna dig.
Is there a
Do you-
I'll do it.
Do
Buffy's
you
happy
believe
to do it.
in horse gods?
Oh, yes, I do. Sure, absolutely.
All right.
There are gods.
Professor Landy just flips open a page and just starts scribbling things down.
Buffy tries to see if she can find a shovel, and she's going to try to dig a grave. She's strong.
There is a shovel. There's some rudimentary tools in a shed behind Havel's Cross. You can spend. It's not going to be the most fun digging a grave to accommodate 10 to 14 bodies, but it is what you can do.
And a horse.
And one horse.
Yep. I will also dig.
Worst
I'm
horse
not
grave
strong,
I've ever
but-
seen.
While they're digging, I'm sorting through
Oh,
and
also-
collecting any goodies, any leftover.
And one goblin, one hobgoblin too. I don't know what the etiquette here.
Absolutely, we're burying.
Yeah, this
them.
is
Okay.
okay. Separate graves. What's the we've gone down this. We're down this path. Let's get it all.
They'll
sorted
be
out,
in their
people.
own corner of the big grave.
Yeah,
that
but largely
we're
it's a
of the
large
big
pit.
grave. Yeah. Okay.
The goblin wing.
A communal grave.
Yeah.
Okay. I
That's
mean,
a big
Hey,
hole.
Tony, you put these bodies here, not us. Okay.
I put the majority of these bodies. I will not take. Not all of these bodies are on me. So you murdered that hobgoblin in like one turn, Osgood. All right. And is this work that you're gonna do now? In the the fading hours of the night, or is this to do fresh start in the morning?
I'd rather do it now. I think I would sleep better if we're going to sleep in here without the dead bodies.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll say that I imagine it takes a while to dig a pit sufficient to accommodate the number of victims here. But as you do the work to lay these these bodies to a proper funereal rest. I don't know if it's a proper etiquette to leave them with all of the things that they had on them, or if you are going to, is it grave robbing if you dig the grave?
Look, it's not grave robbing if
making
they're
a
not
grave
in the grave when you
deposit.
take the stuff off.
Yeah.
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 There's about 12 gold pieces worth of gold between the patrons of the bar.
Right. Three more
Cool.
gold
That's
for
3
everybody.
for everyone.
Three more gold for everyone.
I'm not taking that 3 gold. You guys can have that. So that's 4 gold each for you guys.
Great.
4 gold each for the less moral characters.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
I mean,
And-
I just dug a grave for 4 hours. I feel like some compensation
you
is probably in order.
I think that I'm going to ask that, digging graves when you want to go to sleep. I think this is some athletic work, and you're going to need to do some athletics to not be completely wiped out the next day.
All right.
Okay.
22.
All right.
3.
You dig a lot of...
I am a very small, wee person.
Halfway through, Buffy looks over
most
and
of-
says, Osgood, just go take a nap.
Yeah.
I got this.
Osgood, I imagine that maybe like all of your, because you are a paladin, right? But maybe like all of your muscle is like in your legs, and you just got like little halfling arms.
I am a dexterity paladin, not a strength
Oh,
paladin.
see,
Yeah.
there
Interesting
we go. Yeah.
fact. Anyone can be brave if they're 6 foot tall and covered in sheet metal.
Yeah,
Mm.
Buffy
Yeah.
and Osgood are probably similarly small, but Buffy is super strong and Osgood is just dexterous.
Not as much.
Opal, are you gonna do some digging?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Davina, are you digging?
Oh gosh, no. I'm removing any blood from my nails.
Okay. You are going to do basically all of the digging, Buffy. But you're great at it.
I am digging. I did not stop.
Yeah, okay, you dug until all right. I will say that unfortunately, you are like it hurts Osgood, and tomorrow when you wake up, you are gonna feel it's gonna be like you're a 40-year-old man. You are gonna have disadvantage on ability checks, and it's gonna be a rough day. Is what I'm telling you.
Sounds good.
All right. So the bodies have been buried. Professor Winston Landy observes everything, takes a lot of notes, and it's just having a great adventure. I think next step might be to secure the roadhouse. It's solidly the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Let me just check. Buffy, digging a mass grave by torchlight in the middle of the night, is this everything you dreamed of, or a usual Wednesday for you? Or sorry, Tuesday.
I would say for Buffy, it is not her favorite thing, but it's part of the job.
Part of the job. All right. We'll say that you secure the roadhouse against further interruptions and sleep well into the morning past daybreak to get your full long rest.
Yay.
You can all click the long rest button in D&D Beyond, since some of you got pretty fouled up by that fight. Unfortunately, Osgood starts the day with 1 level of exhaustion.
Nice.
You did not... Yeah, you forgot to stretch before you did all that digging, and it's like...
You got a Charlie horse
Yeah, it's-
halfway through, and you had
Yeah.
to stretch. And...
Everybody, listeners, remember to stretch.
Please stretch.
Yeah, stretch. And before and after. It's,
And
you will
hydrate.
never regret. And hydrate. Yeah, you will never regret stretching. You will often regret not having stretched. So, yes, life lessons from Tony, a person falling apart. All right, so that concludes the corpse maintenance component of the adventure.
Tuesday night.
And you wake up the next day in a tavern that at least is not full of bodies, but still has lots of blood. And, I mean, let's be honest, some parts of the bodies are not easy to move, so bits. But at least, it's daytime. The place is less creepy than it was at night.
And there was nothing remarkable in the rooms. There were just rooms.
Nope.
Okay.
People's personal effects.
All right.
Yeah.
I almost took prestidigitation. The magic cleanie spell, but I did not, and I should have.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Professor, do we? Shall we continue to your archaeological site?
Yes. I believe the ruins of the temple are only a couple hours from here. We could be there before noon if we make haste now.
Should we investigate the roadhouse just a tiny bit more? Have we looked?
Professor Winsome Landy?
Opal and Davina, you had a lot of time while we were digging a grave to do any investigating you wanted to do. So, did you?
You were just sitting there cleaning your nails for hours.
I know. There was a lot of blood. Okay, when I had to clean out, all of the purses and wallets and things. But yeah, I would imagine that we probably did do some investigation, if only to see if there was extra gold somewhere.
Okay. Roll investigation.
10.
You did not find any extra gold. Opal?
I got a 20.
You feel confident that there is no extra gold to be found.
Okay.
Opal, I will say that while you were maybe walking around the roadhouse, observing the grave digging and whatnot, you did notice it looked like, is a path the right word? Tracks? Drag marks? There were marks as if something of significant weight and size had been dragged away from the roadhouse, kind of up into the hills.
Okay, I'll let everybody know.
Okay.
Was it in the direction towards the dig site or away or what?
I don't know if you know which direction the dig site is. You could ask someone who's here.
So
Yeah.
I'll point and say, hey, look, there's something was dragged out that way. Where exactly are we headed? Is it that way?
Oh dear. Yes, up into the hills.
Okay.
Can I Tony, I want to see if maybe I have a sense of whether Professor Landy is
Awesome.
trustworthy in this regard.
All right. Give me an insight check on Professor Winsome Landy.
That is off the screen, but it's an 8.
I don't think you have any reason to not trust Professor Winsome Landy so
Okay.
far.
Well, whatever did this is pretty dangerous, so we should go after it right now.
While it's full?
Yes, we wouldn't want my artifact to be in danger, or my students.
All right.
Let's go. We follow the drag marks.
Yeah.
All right. You head, it is kind of, there's not really a trail or there's nothing like a road. So you're kind of basically traveling through the wilderness. At times there is conspicuous drag marks where something, or maybe some things plural, were dragged through the woods up into the hills beyond Havel's Cross. It's a couple hours through the underbrush and the woods. It's kind of muddy places, lots of tall grass and shrubs that you kind of have to climb through. It would be difficult to pass without making significant noise if that's something that you care about in terms of the moving through plant life and rustling and twig snapping and whatnot. But after a couple hours of pushing through the wilderness, you kind of emerge. There's kind of a clearing with a medium-sized hill gonna get mail about hills again. Hill in it, and a kind of a ruins of a stone structure on top of it. You can see kind of at the base of the hill, there's a bunch of like shallow trenches, and they've been marked with like little yellow flags. And then up the hill from the trenches is kind of, it looks like a semi-intact low building made of stone and rock.
Should have had the professor dig that hole. Archaeologists are good at digging things.
That is true. I'm surprised you didn't think of that. Look at all the fascinating work my students have been up to, she says, pointing to the trenches with the little flags.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I look at the trenches.
Look at those little flags.
They look a lot like the hole that Buffy dug several hours earlier. Honestly, they're a lot smaller than Buffy's work.
And
They
Osgood's
got
work.
flags. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. And technically Osgood's work.
I'd like to believe that Buffy dug the giant mass grave and that Osgood dug the horse grave.
I thought we were avoiding the term mass grave, but okay, yeah.
We're not.
Well,
Not anymore. We're not. So, yeah. So there's these little trenches. It does not look like there's kind of a tattered campsite next to the trenches, and then there's the stone building up the hill.
Professor, I'm going to ask you straight. What are the chances that a monster from the long dead past was released from these ruins and then went to Havel's Cross and killed everyone?
Well, scientifically speaking, it is hard to disprove any such conjecture. It has been known to happen before, not to any of my dig sites. I don't know, 50-50?
Science is a myth.
I don't think that's true.
We
Agree to disagree, Osgood.
This is a land of magic.
Teach the controversy. That's what I always say, because I need a job as a teacher.
Well, we've gotten you to your ruins, so why don't you just hop down in there and get the artifact?
Let's head up the hill. I'm surprised none of my students are here to greet me. It seems
that's weird.
like a real lapse in etiquette on their part. And Professor Winsome-Landy starts trudging up the hill toward the stone structure at the top of the hill.
I trudge next to her.
All right.
Yep.
Everyone else prepared to trudge alongside?
Yeah,
I would
trudging.
never trudge. Just putting that out there. But yes,
you'll stroll or
yeah.
maybe strut.
Yeah, yeah. One of those S's.
I know that, like, this isn't my element, but does anything
What
look...
is your element? Like argon? Or
Yes.
It's the fifth element, love.
Mm.
No, I'm sorry. It says here it's
boron?
boron, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
you came to tangle with somebody who carries a periodic table in his wallet. Step up. So,
I was getting there.
game respect game, Monty. So, Professor Winsome-Landy trudges up to the structure, then seems suddenly realizing that she is leading the group and a little bit nervous about that. The low building is made out of gray stone. It's quite old. All the kind of rocks have been smoothed away by wind and rain over many years. There's not a very tall structure. It's kind of sits squat into the earth. Perhaps maybe it's dug, kind of been even slowly sinking into it. There is a kind of one conspicuous entrance. There's a short set of stairs, and then there's like a curved arch doorway. No door, just a circular opening, or half circle opening. There are some symbols that are, not completely worn away, carved above the door. The inside is just completely dark. Does not look like there's any light sources inside, and this temple is not built with windows or stained glass to let in any light. So it's almost like a cave.
All right. I light a torch and I say, This could be dangerous. You guys should stay behind me. And I walk up to the doorway.
Okay. Osgood, you approach the door, and your torch kind of flickers, and you cast it about as you look inside. There's a very large chamber inside of the door. Let's see. It's kind of large and gloomy. It's mainly empty. There's a bunch of pillars holding up the ceiling. There's not much in terms of furniture. Maybe there would have been at one point in the temple's existence, but not anymore. You do see there's kind of a stone altar on the very far side of the chamber across from you. I don't think in terms of feet, so I'm always bad at describing things in terms of dimensions, but let's say that this room is like 80 feet by 80 feet. Let's see, other things. There's a pile of boxes, crates in the corner off to your right, Osgood, that looks like they're probably a recent addition to the temple. You do see doors leading to the east and west, kind of on the far north end of the chamber. And give me just a little quick perception check.
Okay, this is with disadvantage, of course.
Oh yeah, you're tired.
Okay, that was perception. I rolled a 6.
Something smells bad.
Professor, what do those symbols over the door mean? What's that altar mean? Why aren't your students here?
Well, I could only really conjecture answers to some of those questions. We were studying this structure, which I think it's fair to informally call it a temple. We can't say that definitively yet, but I think we can conjecture that its use was for religious ceremonies of some sort. But these symbols up above, we think that they might be some kind of intersecting or overlapping symbols with regard to life and death. Among this was a structure of elven construction several hundred years ago.
Neat.
Buffy's going to do a perception roll as she walks in next to Osgood. And
all right.
Says, "Wow, what's that smell?"
And Professor, would you mind carrying this torch for me?
Oh, I'd be honored.
Great. I take out my rapier and I've got my shield. I'm.
Buffy gets an 18 plus 2, 20 to perception.
All right. Professor Winselandy looks like she has never held a torch herself, and is suddenly standing up very straight as if it matters while holding a torch. Buffy, you kind of study the area, you sniff the air, you recognize a scent you know all too well, the smell of death and blood, which hangs in the air of this temple as thickly as the foggy air outside. That's so really thick. You also, with your keen blood hunter ears, hear the sound, the kind of a wet chewing sound. Who wants to do a sound effect for the podcast?
No, that'll make the misophoniac people.
Yeah.
Okay. A gross, wet chewing
Chomp,
sound.
chomp, 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 chomp.
Nom 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 nom.
Good.
Nom nom nom
Yeah.
nom nom
Nom,
nom
nom,
nom.
nom.
That's good.
Yeah. Which seems to be coming from the west. Yeah.
So I have the spell comprehend languages. Do I think if I cast it, I would be able to read what is written on the temple?
Yeah, can you remind me exactly what comprehend languages does?
I can. I can understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that I hear. I can also understand any written language that I see. I must be touching the surface on which the words are written. It does not decode secret messages in a text or a glyph, such as an arcane sigil that isn't part of a written language.
Okay. It's also possible that Professor Winselandy can read whatever it is, but yeah.
Can we identify what language it is?
It looks like it's an ancient dialect of Elven. I would say that even if you spoke Elven, you would be unlikely to be fluent in the kind of ancient script.
But it should be okay for me because it's not coded, it's just old,
No,
right?
it's just old.
Okay.
And you're using magic, which, probably is a thing that lots of, I imagine, archaeologists would be casting that all over the place.
Okay. So I'm going to put my hand on the, I don't know if I can reach the lintel or whatever, and cast comprehend languages. I don't know that I fully trust our professor friend.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's not as creeped out as I am, and I just want to know what does it say?
Truth.
You can see there's it's in a very like ornate script in addition to the ancient version of Elvish that it is, and the text kind of has this very artistic thing where it's like it's written like in a loop that continues to kind of loop on and repeat itself over and over
One
again.
ring to rule them all.
No, no, that's okay. But Opal, it says, and what lives will die, and what dies will be reborn, and what is reborn will live, and what lives will die, and what dies will be reborn, and what is reborn will live, and what lives will die, and what dies will be reborn, and what is reborn will live, and what lives will die, and what dies will be reborn, and what is reborn will live, and so on.
Oh, that bodes well.
Sounds great.
I'm just gonna kind of hang back and tell Davina what it says. And I'll try to find an opportunity to also tell Buffy and Osgood. I don't know. I just not getting good vibes off of Professor Landy, so I just don't want to announce that I'm suspicious.
Tony, sort of out of game here. One of Buffy's skills as a blood hunter is information about fae, fiends, or undead. So I will say again, I have advantage to get information or track signs of those things. Is that a thing I should try?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like,
yeah.
I mean, okay, well,
yeah.
with advantage, I will do a survival check, just to do that. Yeah, that's going to be a good idea. Just in case, because it's all creepy. So that is a 20.
All right. Well, 20 is a very good number in Dungeons and Dragons. As you are thinking, Buffy, I don't know if this is things you would have experienced in your life, or would have perhaps read about, if you spent some time hanging out with a charming librarian, for example. But thinking about the things that you observed last night at Havel's Cross and are observing here in this ancient temple, you suddenly kind of lights up in your head that the work of the undead are probably relevant here, and particularly the type of creature that would be at play. Would be a ghoul. A ghoul is they're undead. They roam at night in packs, and they are known for their consumption of the living flesh. So they bite things, and they feed upon their corpses in ways that other undead perhaps are less so inclined. They are ravenous and messy undead. And even some are known to drag corpses back to their nest to, keep themselves fed for a couple days.
I will convey all of this information to the party, saying, I had to read a book once about the undead, and this is a ghoul. I know it. I can tell. I can see all the signs. I know way too much about ghouls.
You know what? I don't know if you want to share this information, Buffy, but you would totally know about you had to sit through a lecture and take an exam on Dorsane, the first of the ghouls, an elven worshipper of Orcus who turned upon his own people and feasted on humanoid flesh to honor the demon prince of undeath, and as a reward for his service, Orcus transformed Dorsane into the first ghoul.
Oh, interesting. And that actually fits.
Why do you say interesting in a way that sounds like you?
Well, no, I'm just saying. I mean, this goes into the character. The character really does have the ability to recall information about undead things. This is what she's been drilled in, really.
And I thought, for example, Buffy might have heavy on the ghoul book learning versus the ghoul street learning.
You'd think but from what I remember, Buffy didn't do any research at all before she ran into stuff.
No, yeah, sure. I think that's what happened. Is like,
that's what makes
I ran into these guys once. And so what Buffy says to them is there's actually a legend about the first ghoul being an elf. And this is an elvish.
Into every generation, a ghoul elf.
A ghoul elf is no, just the one time.
No, just with the.
This is. I don't know a lot about elvish religion, but I'm just saying this is an elvish temple, and there's a ghoul. And isn't it interesting that the elvish people were the source of ghouls?
And because of their elven kind of place of origin for ghouls, elves have some innate kind of immunity is not quite the right word, but they have some they are not as vulnerable to ghoul attacks as everybody else. It's like the least Dorsane could do in creating a whole new type of undead was be like, nah, take it easy on the elves, guys.
Sure.
So you're saying that we're going to fight the first ghoul?
No, I don't think that's necessarily.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh yeah, no, it's I just wonder if this temple and the artifact might be related to the creation of ghouls in the beginning, and that's why this temple is here, since this is an elvish temple. But that I don't know. All I know is that to the west, a ghoul is chomping on something it probably dragged back from Havel's Cross, and I'm
going to go kill it.
Yeah, let's
right
do it
now.
I mean, technically, are we re-killing it because it's undead, or does that mean that it's
now.
like we? Okay, let's go.
Seems very philosophical.
Right. Osgood, Buffy, and Opal and Davina head to the west and look
sure.
in. There's a doorway to the west. You see that door up there? Just an open door. And looking into that room, there's kind of a small wing off of the main chamber here. It's kind of a rectangular room, not too big, kind of narrow. And in there, there are two kind of horrible-looking undead creatures. Their skin is blue. Their clothing is in tatters. Their mouth is full of pointy teeth. Their hands have been kind of twisted into these kind of horrible talons, and they are kind of just chowing down on some corpses that they have seemed to have collected there. So here's an image of a ghoul just to kind of highlight that they are, there's a lot of undead in D&D, and they come in lots of different shapes and forms. Ghouls are kind of, they're more than just fast zombies. They're these kind of ravenous, hungry, wretched creatures that must consume flesh to keep going. There are two ghouls in here. Yeah, that will attack you at the start of our next session, because this is where we're going to leave things off. What is going on with these ghouls in this ancient elven temple? Is this the home of the first ghoul, the one elf that created the line of undead? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's a level 2 adventure, people. Let's not get too excited. What is up with Professor Winsome Landy? Can she be trusted or not? What has happened to our students? And what secrets wait for us elsewhere in the temple? For answers to questions such as these, tune in next time to Total Party Kill Tuesday night. Horror at Havel's Cross.